This week, Schumacher bins it on the straight in race A. We avoid Barry R in race B. And just how fast is the Z4 in race C? Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide. We're here in Gran Turismo 7, and your eyes and ears are not deceiving you. We are in go-karts, and we are at Miyabi. This week, certainly an interesting week, that is for sure. Let's jump straight into those race details then. We're racing 8 laps here at Miyabi. It's a grid start. You may want to use traction control or may not. I mean, it's a bit weird to be honest with you because it's a go-kart. Sport soft tyres, times 1 fuel, times 1 tyres, and of course, BOP is applied with that fixed setup. Now, as I say, this is a go-kart. It was hard to control in GT Sport. I would argue it's a little bit harder to control in GT7. So you're going to see some hilarious crashes here at Miyabi this week. Now, in the background as well are the timestamps for the video. If there's any part of this video you want to go to, maybe skipping race A, please feel free to do that. They're there. You can skip straight to it and get to your preferred race. Right, without further ado, let's jump to this race. And trust me, when I said it's Mimi, oh, it is Mimi. We are then at the start. And yes, you just saw Mario Kart in P1. And Mario is here. Or the Mario Kart is here. Anyway, we're starting P10. A wide variety of DRs and SRs all throughout today, actually. Pretty weird matchmaking. But even so, we leave here. And we are on our LZR account. Why are we on that? Because we don't have enough money on our other account to buy all the cars. So we're on the LZR one this week. We'll be back to TCR next week. Now, you saw the start. I did hit the limiter. There was a little bit of wheel spin. But you don't really lose that much. Just quickly change to second and you should be fine. Now, we're going to get on the inside. These karts are very, very twitchy. You're going to have to be careful. So we come through here. Someone's hit somebody. I don't know how we catch this, but we do. It's actually mad how we catch that. The brick behind staying back as well. I'm not sure why. But I knew carnage was coming, and we're involved in the first part of it. Anyway, in towards this right-hander for the first time. Kart getting a little bit oversteering. Through the right-hander we go then. Looking on the outside of the Belgium. And through we go. Oh, do not do that. Oh, that was nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. That was straight to barrier there, my word. Yeah, do not go on the curbs. You go flying. We advance a bit further on where we're drawing Michael Schumacher, apparently. Or Mick, whichever one you want to use. I think it's Michael, based on the old racing suit there. So through the right-hander we go. We've got a Mario Kart and Michael Schumacher in the same race. Has that ever been said before? I'm not too sure. Anyway, we're continuing through the left. Avoid curbs. Avoid curbs. It's flat out through here. I will give you a lap guide as well. As we head towards the right-hander, Michael going a bit defensive. In towards the braking zone we go. A little bit of oversteer there. You just see that. Somebody on the curb just bouncing somebody else off. We get on the inside of Schumacher. And then down in towards the right. Oh, a little bit of a bump. And on the outside, again, be careful. Oh, French driver's gone to the realms here. Oh, no, we're zooming in. Michael Schumacher touches the grass. Oh, it's another crash. Do not touch the grass either. It's a little bit slippy as we go through lap number 5 then. And we've got a battle for P2 on our hands here. We do have the fastest lap as well. You know, we'll take those. There wins into... Oh, we're up again. In towards the braking zone of this corner. As you see, Jeff getting it all sorts of... My name is Jeff. We've got all sorts in this one. Mario Kart, Max Schumacher, and Jeff here. I don't know Jeff. Right, anyway, let's head on towards lap number 6. We tried to get on the inside of Gorillo. That didn't happen here. The Spaniard keeping that position for now. We do have the slipstream in towards right-hander. Again, you're going to just see this flat out. And I will give a lap guide. It is coming, don't worry. Not much to the lap guide. But the Spaniard going a little bit wide here. It's getting the inside. I was a bit scared after lap 1 being on this side. We actually got on the outside of Schumi here as well. But in towards the left we go, still side by side. Very easy to go side by side here. You just have to give space, which everybody does here, which is nice to see. Schumi and Gorillo. In towards the braking zone we go. We're still purple. Gorillo goes on the inside of Schumi. We're on the inside here. There's a slight tap there, even though there was room on the outside, but we survive it. We continue on there, still side by side behind. Through there, we get a little bit of oversteer. Those two side by side, and they bid each other off. I don't know this until I look back like this, and I go, oh, where's everyone gone? I'm just using the radar this time to commentate. Anyway, lap guide. Flat out in towards turn 1. Just keep it tight. Keep it tight. Nice and smooth as best as you can. You see... Small steering inputs. If you do large inputs, you're going to be flying everywhere. Keep it tight. And there's a 13.8 for you. So again, flat out through the left. Avoid the curb. Just clip the white line. And again, for this right-hander, just clip the white line. Best way to do it. Get towards the left-hand side. Now, it's quite a late braking zone here. What you're going to use is that white marker there. So you're braking much later than we normally do here at Miyabi. And you want to brake kind of softly, not hammer on and turn in. Don't trail brake too much. You want to brake, and then notice how I come off the brake. I still get a bit twitchy because I went too hard on the brakes. 4th gear through that corner. Now, this corner can be done flat out. I'm about to show you here. Don't clip the curb. A little bit of oversteer there, but I short shifted this time to stop that oversteer, and we're going to continue on towards the line. You still see the Kart just misbehaved a little bit, but Mario, well, Speedman won in Mario Kart, so obviously Mario is the best here. But unfortunately, Schumacher down in P12. He actually lapped Schumacher in that. But that's it for race A. Let's jump to race B. Welcome to Croatia then, where we're racing at Dragontrail Gardens in Group 4 machinery, which does mean at the moment it's one make because the Atenza is so overpowered. It's why I also had to do this on my Lazarus account. But even so, we're going to go straight into the race details here, and we're going to have a good race all the same, or try to at least. 4 laps here at Gardens. It's a rolling start. Be careful towards the back. You do start on the corner. Racing medium tyres. That is new for the daily races this time. We've always been using racing hard, so you need to go buy them. Times 1 fuel, times 1 tyres, and it's bop fixed setup. Now, as you can see in the background, it's the Atenza here, which is the OP car. We know that. We know that from the previous races and the manufacturer races as well. Go out and buy the Atenza. It's going to be OP until they change it. Big shout out to TCR Shelty for the livery. Thank you so much for this. Much appreciated. It actually makes it look very V8 Supercar-esque, which is nice. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happened, as well as a lap guide as well. Oh, here we are with the grid. Lots of Atenzas, a couple of other cars. We got a Lamborghini, a Scirocco, and a Porsche in there. And as you can see here, we're P14. So P14, 15, 16, starting on that last corner. Do be careful with any oversteer that you might have. Remember, tyre wear does mean tyre temp, and we do have that here. So you do have to be careful. I really should be warming my tyres up, to be honest. I don't know why I'm not doing that, but please do that. So we're going to go in straight to a lap guide as the Porsche makes move on the Scirocco up ahead. So turn 1, the last tree on the left, I've highlighted it. It's what I use here for turn 1. You're going to dab the brake and turn in. Now, depending on the car, it depends how much it'll hook in. You might have to just trail brake a little bit more in the Atenza, as you see here. You want to clip the curb there, and then you can accelerate through the corner like normal. Now, as you head towards this next turn on the right-hand side, we have the orange painted barrier there. Use that as your brake marker. It's what I used in GT Sport. Use this in a GT7. So, you're going to hit the anchors here, and you've got to be careful here of the Volkswagen on the inside. Click the curb on the left. You're going to be as far left as possible then for this right-hander. You can cut the first part. Be careful of cutting the second part too much. You can cut it slightly, but as you see up ahead, the Porsche got a penalty there. I think that was for cut for the first one, maybe. I'm not too sure. But be careful of cutting there. You can do it without cutting. All I'm saying is beware of the penalty. So heading down towards this right-hander. I've highlighted the tree because that's what I was using. However, you can use the curb as well as a bit of a brake marker. So pick and choose as you like. As the tree is on, hits the edge of my screen is when I go on the brakes here. I do second gear in the Atenza. It seems to like second gear. You can accelerate through quite quickly. We had to take a tight line there as we were making a move on the Porsche. Right, up the hill then. Chuck it left, keep it as far left as possible, and then just as you get to this gravelly, sandy part of the circuit there on the left-hand side, this is where you want to brake and then turn into the corner. You actually want to keep quite a tight line and not go too wide here. You don't want to go further than the middle of the circuit. We keep it in the middle, which is good. The tree on the right-hand side then is your marker. So as that tree leaves the screen, you want to either be braking and then turning left, or lifting and turning left, depending on your car, of course. So you brake here, and then you clip the curb, accelerate through the corner. Job done. We could have carried a bit more speed there as well. We slowed down a bit too much. So into one of my favorite corners here, the quadruple apex corner. So you're braking that dark patch on the left hand side. You're braking at the start of that. And now you want to clip the first part here, and then you want to go out. You don't necessarily have to clip the second part. It's this part here that's important because you want to accelerate through the third part and then clip the final part. The second apex doesn't matter so much. The third and fourth do, because that way you are accelerating all the way through there and all the way up this straight. It's very important you get those right. The final corner then, we're using the painted orange barrier there just up ahead in the distance as that hits the edge of your screen. Now, I've done it here because we're going to go for the move, of course, and the car on the outside is going to block that marker. But you see they just outbrake themselves a little bit here. Now, you want to clip the first part. You want to go out and then come back. Now, we don't actually come back very well there. It's a V-shaped corner. You clip the first, a little bit of contact. You clip the first apex, you go out, and then you clip the second apex. You don't keep it tight. Right, we're going to go for the move on the Red Bull machine now. Down the inside then. We played a little bit of a dummy. Getting that tree there. Notice how I use it as a marker. I'm trying to clip the curb on the inside and then accelerate through the corner. And we're just going to give enough space here for the Atenza. A good bit of racing there with Unrumpf In towards the left we go. And yeah, I was aware of the Finnish driver coming back across there, so I did back out of it a little bit. So through the first part, absolutely no problem. Second part, we cut a little bit too much, and you're going to see that now because we're also going to get a 0.5 second penalty. So as I say, do be careful. You don't necessarily have to cut there to gain a massive advantage. So if you want to take the risk, go for it. Otherwise, don't take the risk. Now, as that tree hits the edge of my screen there on the right-hand side, we're going to hit the apex. Through we go and carry on as normal. Happy days. So we're going to take that penalty now, and they've disappeared behind. So hopefully we can keep this position. We have a French driver behind, who is my driver of the week this week. It's Zyra, and we'll have a look at their PSN after as well. But they anticipate that we're going to go for the move. I'll try and defend the position here. They give me space on that inside, and then they try and go for a cutback. Doesn't quite work this time, but a good bit of racing there with Zyra. Really big shout out to you. As we then go defensive here. Looks like they're not going to catch us, so we're then going to go towards the racing line and just take our corner as normal. Then in towards the first corner we go. They are keeping on my tail just a little bit here. We don't clip the curb as well. They try and carry a lot of speed through the corner, and they do carry a lot more speed, actually. Fair play to them. In towards the braking zone, they don't go for the lunge, and it's going to be status quo for now. Now, I'm going to show you not cutting the corner, so we're going to cut a little bit the first part. We're going to ignore cutting the second part. As you see, you don't really lose that much, and we actually benefit from a bit of speed there. We actually look to catch up to P9 as we catch up to Ghost Driver now on this final lap. So in towards the right we go. Again, we're going to cut the first part. This time we go a little bit risky and cut the second part. We clip the sausage this time. Ghost Rider clips it more. Get down the inside of Ghost Rider, and look at this up ahead. We have 3 attenders absolutely fighting for it here, with Tommy having a 2-second penalty. That'll be for contact somewhere. In towards the braking zone we go then. And we're looking to stop the car on the apex, which we do. I wasn't sure where to go here with everybody fighting everywhere. Tommy has a little bit of oversteer there, so I think, okay, get on that inside very quickly. We've got Kermit in the distance. Shout out to Kermit. It said hello in the chat. The curb bounces off a little bit here, so we have to really let off to make sure we don't push Tommy off into the realms. And we're still on the inside here. So we go up into P8. Through we go. We've got 2 more positions to make here to get to that cursed position, the one we want, in towards the braking zone then for this time. And unfortunately, Tommy goes for a push to pass move. Not liking that too much, unfortunately. But then Ghost Driver, I really do not like. I really do not like at all. Now, Tommy actually gets a 6-second penalty, which I would say is harsh for the contact with me. It's very frustrating, the push to pass, but I think it was amplified by Ghost Driver. Now, Tommy is a B-rated driver, so maybe a mistake. I can accept that. Ghost Driver is an A DR rated driver. Ghost Driver, that was terrible driving. I am going to call out terrible driving in this, as well as good driving. As you see, with good driving there, Zyra again got on the outside, went for the move, goes for the cutback this time, gets a good run off the corner, looking to get me at the line, but doesn't quite do it. A really, really good race there with Zyra. We'll jump to PSNs in a second, but Ghost Driver, please improve there. As he is their PSN, you can see that. Shout out to you, but that is it for Race B. You can have some good racing gear, but yeah, the Atenza, it's going to be a bit annoying with the Atenza being so OP. Let's head to Race C. Welcome then to Brands Hatch, and a very cloudy Brands Hatch, so this is simulating weather very well for the UK, let's be honest. And in the background, I don't know why I went Scottish there, and you can see we are in Group 3 machinery. Lots of RCZs in this, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Let's jump straight to those race details then. We're racing 13 laps here at Brands Hatch. It's a rolling start. Again, be careful towards the back. Racing hard tyres only. Times 7 fuel. It is a fuel race. Times 15 tyres. You do have to look after them as well. Bop is fixed. So it's just pick a car and go out and race. Now, a huge shout out in the background to TCR Hines for delivery. Very good livery. Again, TCR, happy days. If you want to join them, check out the description. TCR, fantastic. Clean racing community. If you see a TCR driver, you know you should get a clean race. Right, with this race, it's a fuel race. And I'm going to explain why it's a fuel race when we jump to that race right about now. Here we are then at the start. So we've got Nissan GTR in pole, GGD Castrillon, but we're in the RCZ. There's a couple of Porsche in here. There's Z4s as well, a Ferrari. So a mixture of all sorts, but the Peugeot is so good. Now, at the start, make sure you put fuel map 6 on, even at the grid. It'll just save you that tiny bit of fuel because, as I've said twice now, it's a fuel race. You will need to save fuel. I don't really save fuel a lot at the start here because I'm trying to judge how much fuel I'm going to use. I'm going to show you in these first few laps. So heading towards turn 1 then. So we started P16. So, oh, P15 gets it all sorts of wrong. Down the inside already. Up into that P15 position. And lots of cars up ahead to overtake as well. I'm just trying to get an idea of fuel here, which is why the fuel map has stayed where it is. Remember, you can't change brake balance, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. In towards the left we go. And Chris is just going to go a little bit too wide here. And up the inside of Chris, that's another position gained. So again, I'm just trying to adjust fuel. So at the moment, staying around 11 laps. So I do need to gain a few laps. Oh, the Italian up the inside of that German. They've gone round. So up into P13. So he's staying around 11 laps at the moment. Looks like that's going to drop down towards the 10 mark by the line, I suspect. So we do need to gain a little bit of fuel here. Through the right-hander we go. And we continue on towards the line then on the inside of the Italian now. I'm going to start practicing my fuel saving here. And start short shifting like crazy because I need to save fuel. But the Italian comes across there when I was on the inside line. I was quite surprised by that. I managed to back out of it. Somebody was off, so we gained another position. You didn't even see that person. I only know about it because it was on the replay. As in towards the right-hander we go then. The Italian on the inside, the French driver gives them just enough room there in the Z4. And the Z4, again, going to look down the inside. Bit of a bad move that by the Z4 driver. But we're going to take both positions up into P10 then. Making moves here while saving fuel. So I'm going to start practicing fuel map here. Now, the reason it's a fuel race is because... Oh, actually, we'll get back to that in a second. We've got a 6-second penalty for the Beetle. I took a risk here to go through the Beetle. I'm still inside the Beetle. I'm still inside the Beetle. I was very scared at this point, but they had a 6-second penalty. So, yeah, we get rid of that. Another penalty. And another penalty there for Alban. This is the French version of Alex Alban. Alban. Up in the distance. In the Ferrari. So we've got a Z4 and a Ferrari. So let me get to this fuel now. We're starting lap 3. We've got 11 laps. We've got 10 laps of fuel. The reason it's a fuel race is because the pit stops are too long anyway. So you wouldn't want to pit and lose 16 seconds. It's just, you're not going to benefit from it. The fuel is too extreme. We had this back in GT Sport days in FIA where you just try and stay out as long as possible because the fuel is so extreme. You just take the advantage, basically. Everyone's trying to fuel save a little bit, potentially. As we get on the outside of Chris here, but Chris is going to look to come back at us now. And let's have a look at this. So Chris going around the outside. Again, I'm just trying to adjust fuel. So I go to fuel map 1. I will explain exactly what I did in terms of fuel and how you could adjust it accordingly as well as we leave that corner. Up round. We're still short of fuel at the moment. Chris going to have a good run here. That's Z4. Extremely fast. Extremely fast. So I was like, okay, I'll just pull back in. I noticed Chris got a 2-second penalty. That must be for contact with me earlier on. And I went off a little bit on the side-by-side out of Druids. So at this point, I'm just trying to stay behind. I was hoping Chris would go a little bit quicker through the corners after going for the overtake, but struggling a little bit with apex speed there. So we're just stuck behind for now. In fact, I think we've got 2 Chris's in this race. I swear I saw Chris earlier in the RCZ. Now we've got another Chris in a Z4. Popular nickname is Chris. Anyway, in towards the left-hander we go. The penalty line in a reasonable place here. You just have to be careful when people are taking penalties. Chris does the right thing here, goes towards the right-hand side, gives room on the left. Happy days, P7. And we actually up into P6 here. As we've seen a mistake, or we didn't see the mistake, but there's a mistake earlier on. Right, okay, let's fight Alban. Alban. Now, in towards the left we go. And we see we're on fuel map 2. Now, we've been behind Alban for a few laps here. Just a few. Now, the critical thing here with fuel saving is use fuel map 2 on the intersection. So, when you get to paddock, just fuel map 2 all the way out of Graham Hill. Then fuel map 1 up this straight. All the way to the top end, and then fuel map 2, then all the way to the start-finish line, and then basically on start-finish straight, you'll go to fuel map 1 again. Now, the reason I do this is because you're maintaining an average speed through these corners, so while you may lose a little bit of speed, you don't lose that much. As you can see, Alban's not really pulling away from us that much. They get it a little bit wrong through that left-hander, right-hander, sorry, it's not left-tige, what you're on about. So they go towards the right, then go defensive. I back out of this for now, coming through here. They take it tight, they leave just enough of a gap there, an RCZ-sized gap. In towards the left we go. The French driver behind pushes his way through a little bit there in the FT1, I'd say. But we get that position. So we catch up to P4, who's got a penalty. Half-second penalty here for the Italian, who decides to go off and let me through. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. Happy days. We're going to go into a lap guide now as well, because people are going to start coming in the pits, as you can see there in the left-hand side. Now, turn 1, you've got the brake board of 2, but you actually break it at the marshal box, which is the second highlighted piece there. So you break it in there, that gap basically. Some cars brake early. I brake exactly at the marshal box. And you want to turn in and you want to maintain your throttle all the way through the corner. Happy days, job done. Druids then, it's literally going to be that red portion on the barrier on the left-hand side. Use that as your brake marker. Now, you're wondering why I'm on fuel map 1. I'm going for a fastest lap here because why not? While also short shifting at the same time. Now, second gear in the LCZ. This car is so stable. It is unbelievable. As we leave that corner, we're going to head towards Graham Hill. Just before the curb starts on the right-hand side. Don't go towards it, or don't go on it, sorry. You're going to start braking. Now, you can stay in third here, or you could go to second. Now, I changed my mind throughout the race, but I stay in third on this particular lap. It just keeps it stable as we continue on through. So on the right-hand side now, we've got a one board and the green edge of the barrier. Use either of those as your brake marker. They're next to each other. And you want to stay out wide initially and then come back towards the corner a little bit later on. We get this slightly wrong. Could have done that a little bit better. We dropped to second gear, but we're 4 tenths up. Now, we are still short shifting here, and we are nearly there on fuel as well. But the goal here is to get the fastest lap as well. So we're short shifting before the bar even comes on now. On the right side, we have that red painted barrier. So literally, you brake and turn in at that point. Just balance the car with the throttle as well, all the way through the corner. Just maintains that apex speed just a little bit. There you can see I do it a little bit and then full on through the corner. Next marker is on the left-hand side. Once again, it's a red painted barrier. Lots of these at Brands Hatch. They are very useful. Again, brake at that point, turn in. I haven't noticed the curb glitch this time. I don't know if it still exists or not. But through there we go. Very balanced as we continue on down Dingle Dell. Now, on the right side, we've got a 2 board, but we're looking for that 1 board in particular. Not many people will wipe out that 1 board. You've got to be particularly talented to get that board. But just before that hits the edge of your screen, you're going to brake, and you want to use a lot of the inside curb here if you can. Through the corner we go. Don't run too wide there. And on the right side, they've changed this a little bit. The marshal box is gone, but there are 2 marshals there still. So use Bill and Brian on the right side, the marshals. You're braking just as they hit the edge of your screen here. Third gear, you want to get on the inside here. Lots of camber, get on the inside. We do it slightly wrong, a little bit of oversteer, nothing major. Continue on through the corner. Now, last corner here. Now, I'm using the 1 board. Normally, I'd brake a bit later, but I found that I had to turn in a bit earlier with the RCZ. I've no idea why. So I'm using the 1 board here as a brake marker. Now, sometimes you want to do this in 3rd gear, sometimes in 4th. I do it in 3rd gear here and try and keep the car balanced. A short shift, and we're going to continue on. Now, you may have noticed that Yee's gone in the pits. They were in the lead. It was around 11.2 when they went in. So we're going to just take a note of the time as they leave the pit. So it says 2.5 seconds. They're not fully out yet, as now they are out. I think they might have made a mistake into turn 1 potentially. I'm not too sure, but it's around 18 seconds, and you'll see that again when P1 goes in a second. It is around 18 seconds. So P1's going to go in at 10.6 seconds. We've been saving fuel all this time. So in towards the right we go. And continue on through. A little bit of a wiggle. So this is where the tyres become a bit of an issue. Just have to make sure you keep the car stable. So it's around 10.6, 10.7 as we get another 0.3 there. Not too bad with saving fuel as well. In towards the right hander we go. Keeping the car balanced. Down we go. Up we go. So it was around 10.7. We're going to leave, and it's going to be around 6.1 or 2 when we get to this point, which again is around 17, 18 seconds. So there is your answer. It's just better to just fuel save here as we continue on here. We're actually coming up to a back marker now. They're struggling here. The French driver, that was the French driver who pushed the RCZ off earlier on. The Italian, I believe it was. But what we're going to do, we're going to advance a bit further on. So fuel map 1, I've said on this lap, fuel map 1 on the straights only, fuel map 2 on all the corners, the sort of where there's multiple corners in a row because you're trying to maintain average speed at that point. And you can see I saved enough fuel, and I didn't really save that much at the start. I was short shifting a little bit, but there's plenty you can do there. You might not even have to use fuel map 2 potentially, and that is the end of the race. I actually don't like this race. I think a fuel race is very boring. I think most people are just going to sit behind each other when most people are on. As you see, a big gap there between DRA, A+, and DRB. Not sure why that exists, but yeah. I'm not fond of it, but we can see how the week goes anyway. That is it for this week's weekly race guide. I do hope you've enjoyed it. A shout out to everyone I did race here in these races. My logo there is there if you want to subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the Gran Turismo 7 content and other games as well. Please do give it a like on the way out, and 2 videos there to check out as well. As I say, that is it for me, folks. I do hope you enjoy your day, evening, and week of racing here in Gran Turismo 7, but I hope to see you in another video or live stream very soon.